Hello and welcome here to more TALKFCB and welcome back to the channel, guys, on Xavi Hernandez Day, because all day long we've been waiting for announcements. We've been looking here, there and everywhere for the confirmed news, and even as I speak, it is yet to quite come out, but Xavi's going to be our coach. Xavi is going to be the new Barcelona coach. And in today's video, we're going to be talking there about some really early requests that he's had towards the club, that in order to make the move there from Qatar, to leave that life behind and return to Barça, what did Xavi ask of the club? And what are some early changes, therefore, that we can expect? It's all coming up. Come on, guys. Let's do it! Because indeed, if we do start here with the very first request of Xavi Hernandez, and it is a very, very important one too, because he was absolutely clear there when coming over from Al Sadd back to Barca that he wanted to be able to bring his own coaching staff. And that's just not here talking about one or two people, maybe an assistant, maybe bringing a few members over with him, but this is an entire team that he's basically put together since he's been out there in Qatar. It's going to include at least 7 people, tried and trusted people there close to Xavi. He's got 2 assistant coaches, a trainer, a physiotherapist, and he's also got people there who are in charge of scouting and other jobs there inside of the coaching circle. And I think it's really, really important this, even more so now in the modern game, you need good people around you, and you do need a whole army of people really, especially when you're taking on a challenge as big as the Barca job. And I think that's really important as well about Xavi's time in Qatar, because actually what he's done out there is gained experience. Many people look down on that experience, but what he's been able to do is assemble this group of people. He's been able to try things out, to see what works, to see what doesn't. It hasn't been in a massively high-pressured situation, so he's been able there to think about things rationally, to be able to decide whether things work, whether things don't, who understands him, who doesn't, and especially the people around him here. Xavi knows exactly what they bring there to his coaching staff, and I think it's also very, very important here to mention that in coming to Barca, in sealing the deal here, Xavi is now earning less money than he was in Qatar. He's going to be earning less there at Barca than he was at Al Sadd. And you also have to give full credit to his coaching staff too, who also, like I say, following him over, Barca are fine with that, but they've also had to make sacrifices because Barca are still operating there within those La Liga restrictions in terms of salary. Even with coaches, it still stands. So big commitment from Xavi and his trusted people. The next big request, though, comes also inside the club, also in terms of the staff and the people around you when you're going about your work. But this relates to the medical staff at Barca, which is really, really important right now, because just yesterday we were discussing after Dembele's latest injury, Dest also injured right now. There's a lot of injuries from Barca day in, day out. We seem to be having lots of problems this season, and we need to find some sort of solution. Now, I've said in the past that Xavi has always been keen that if he was to arrive, he wants to overhaul it. He wants to really change the medical setup inside of Barca, I'm sure, to avoid these kinds of problems. But specifically, Xavi has reportedly requested here the return to the club of Dr. Ricard Pruner to Barca. Because this may indeed be a name that you are or are not familiar with, but Dr. Ricard Pruner there is a very well-known figure within the game in terms of the medical side of the game, and especially at Barca. He is regarded there as one of the most recognisable sports medicine specialists in the entire world of sports, because Dr. Ricard Pruner actually joined Barca's medical team in 1996, and then he actually stayed on and worked at the club for nearly 25 years. He was actually there the head of the medical services during a course of time when we've seen some of the best Barca teams of all time, and also physically the best. That's really important too. It wasn't only about technical ability, but physically they were unbelievable teams, and Dr. Ricard Pruner was at the club during Pep, during Luis Enrique, before he did depart back in 2018. But it was upon his own request. It was his decision to leave the club. They did not sack him. He left the club following rumours that Dr. Pruner there was unhappy with some of the decisions being made back then by President Bartomeu. Xavi now, reportedly, wants him back, and I'm absolutely sure we've got to change something. And surely with all of that experience, all of that know-how from all of his years at the club on the medical side, Dr. Ricard Pruner, he could help us out. Then comes indeed the next request, which moves there from away from the field, from inside the club, to actually there right out on the field in terms of the playing squad that Xavi is going to have at his disposal, and especially their players who are going to be important to the system and the philosophy that he wants to bring back to this club. And I want to talk again about wingers. Now, this is going to be a theme that is going to emerge right throughout Xavi's time at the club. Wingers are essential. He needs them. He absolutely needs them there to create the team that he wants, to really lay down the plan that he wants to bring. And for that reason, one of Xavi's very early requests to the club, he wants a winger. And ideally, in the January transfer window, he would love the club to be able to bring in a pure winger to the club. But of course, as we know, we sacked Ronald Koeman. We've got a big payoff there that we're now going to have to account for in our budget. We've also had to use some money here to bring in Xavi from Al Sadd. So obviously there, that money that we may have had in January is now looking a little bit tight. But one option may indeed be a loan deal. And I think when you're looking there at loan deals, when you're looking at players who may be possible to bring in, you think about Raheem Sterling. He has been linked to the club since back in the summer. We know that talks actually took place between Barça and Man City. I think since then, Sterling has gone further and further away from Pep Guardiola's plans. We also know that Xavi is a very big fan of Raheem Sterling, and with his desperation there to somehow bring somebody in, even if it's only until the end of the season, if it's only there a short-term option for the rest of this season, Xavi would love to add that depth. But even though we are talking here about Xavi wanting to bring in a winger, wanting to sign a winger if at all possible in January, one thing that I've got to make very, very clear here about Xavi's requests is that actually, even despite wanting to bring one in, that does not mean that he's lost faith in Ousmane Dembele, because obviously Dembele has been very much in the headlines, and he is, of course, one of the very few natural wide players, pure wingers, that we do have at the club. And Xavi in the past has spoken very highly of Dembele. He's spoken of the talent that he has, the qualities that he can use in the team, but Xavi has also repeatedly said he needs to mature, he needs to improve things about his game, he needs to improve his understanding of the game, and this is the crucial part. It's now being reported that Xavi does still have faith in Dembele, he would use him in his team, but what he wants to do with Dembele, of course get him fit, is the number one priority, but also teach him how to play as a Barca winger. And honestly, guys, that for me is music to my ears. And it's not just about Dembele here, who I think desperately needs that kind of attention. He needs somebody there to actually come in, put an arm around him and sort of explain to him how he can succeed. I think many coaches have tried to get the best out of him. Of course, getting him out on the pitch, that's the first hurdle. But I think when he's there, he has the quality. He has the talent. He has the attributes, but not necessarily the understanding to make it all work at Barca. And that is why I'm so happy about Xavi wanting to teach him how to play here. Because for me, not only with Dembele, but there are so many players in our team right now. There are so many quality footballers at Barca that so far in their time here, they've not been used correctly. They've not been told, they've not been instructed, they've not been given the right guidance to succeed in this team. And that is why, for me, Xavi coming in here, knowing how to play at Barca, he has all of that experience, he has all of that understanding, and not even that long ago, to come in and be able to share that guidance, to share that wisdom, and actually tell people, this is how you do it here. Because it is a different kind of football. There are different skills that you need to learn to be a success here. And if you can do that, if you can help these talented players make that next step and settle in here for good, that'll be great. That will give us a massive boost, and I'm absolutely sure a huge raise in performance. And I do think, guys, that overall, that is kind of the beauty. That is the really exciting thing about Xavi's arrival. He wants to change things. He is going to come in and really try and turn things around. We need to move in a different direction to what we have been doing over the past few seasons. And I think it's at the exciting stage now where we're just sitting back waiting for it to take place. Of course, it's going to take a lot of time. We know, I've said repeatedly, that we have to be patient. We are all prepared for that. But I think right here, Xavi finally coming back now, coming in, laying those foundations. It's going to be so important. And all that I hope is that the board at the club 100% back him and give him there what he needs to succeed. I'm sure that they will, and I'm absolutely sure that we can be excited. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on the potential return of Dr. Ricard Pruner, and also there the wide options that we need at this club. I will of course see you very, very soon indeed, because there is going to be more coming. You can guarantee that. Thank you for watching, guys, and thank you for taking part in this beautiful day. I will see you soon, but until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.